and more your Goofs. Now, this week we have a bit of a double feature featuring a new Diesel in this series, so may as well look alive for this. Because this week is part 1, Mavis. So let's head down to the quarry where the new Diesel awaits their new job on the Door Railway. Yup.
Mavis is a diesel engine who works for the quarry company shunting freight cars in their sidings. She has 6 small wheels hidden by side plates just like Toby's. Mavis is young and full of her own ideas. She loves rearranging things too and began putting Toby's cars in different... shunting freight cars in their sidings. She has 6 small wheels hidden by side plates just like Toby's. Mavis is young and full of her own...
Yeah, I think those cars' eyes are pretty wonky.
Ideas. She loves rearranging things too and began putting Toby's cars in different places every day. This made Toby cross. Freight car.
Yeah, of course it made him cross. You caused a bigger gap in the left eye rather than the right eye. And a crooked faceplate to go along with it.
He grumbled, should be where you want them, when you want them. Fiddlesticks, said Mavis and flounced away. At last, Toby lost patience. I can't waste time playing hunt the cars with you. Take them yourself. Mavis was pleased. Taking cars made her...
I see a faceplate change.
Feel important. At the station,
Yeah, that should not be true. Ooh, Diesel... Mavis doesn't talk to Diesel in the Railway Series edition. She actually talks to Daisy, who wound up notably absent in this. And pay attention to that limit a shunt sign on the left. It's very important.
Diesel oiled up to her. Toby's an old fusspot, she complained. Diesel sensed trouble and was delighted. Toby says only steam engines can...
Hold on.
At the station, Diesel oiled up to her. Toby's an old fusspot, she complained. Diesel sensed trouble and was delighted.
I think the scenery in the quarry changed when Diesel got a close-up. And also, remember that limited shunt sign I told you about? Now it's where Mavis is.
Says only steam engines can manage freight cars, continued Mavis. How absurd, squirmed Diesel.
And now the sign's back to the original place.
Depend upon it, Mavis. Anything steam engines can do, we diesels can do.
Oh, and the camera's moving up and down. Oh, not a good sight. Is the paranormal really happening?
Better. Diesel knew nothing about cars, but Mavis didn't realize this. Toby's line crosses the main road behind...
Now there's a slow sign and a whistle sign. Pay attention to those.
...behind the station, and for a short way follows a farm lane. Frosty weather makes the muddy lane rock hard and very slippery.
Gosh, and we just love how a camera causes a shadow in the scene.
Toby stops before reaching the lane. His fireman halts the traffic at the crossing, and then he sets off again. By using the heavy cars to push him along...
And now the whistle sign is gone.
He has no trouble with the frosty rails in the lane and across the road. It is the only safe thing to do in this kind of weather. Toby warned Mavis and told her just what to do. I can manage, thank you, she replied. I'm not an old fusspot like you. The freight cars were tired.
I should mention there's a change in the brake van. And the car next to the brake van has a crooked faceplate.
being pushed around by Mavis. It's slippery, they whispered. Let's push her around instead. On, they yelled. Mavis took no notice. Instead, she brought the cars carefully down the lane and stopped at the level crossing.
Ugh, Mavis is shining brighter than usual. Oh, might be the light on her. Pretty sussy baka, don't you think?
All traffic halted. What?
Okay, they should really be angry, not smiling.
Not in the headlamp for fusspot Toby, chortled Mavis. But Mavis had stopped in the wrong place. Instead of taking Toby's advice, she had given the cars the chance they wanted. Hold back, they cried. Grrr, ordered Mavis.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mistake on Birdie. Also, Terrence left.
The cars just laughed and her wheels spun helplessly.
Oh, Mavis's red wheels are visible.
Workmen sanded the rails and tried to dig away the frozen mud, but it was no good. Everyone was impatient. Grrr, wailed Mavis. Toby was in the yard when he heard the news. I warned her.
Oh, in that previous scene, there was a mark on Toby's eye. And there was a bit of an eye gap in both eyes. Join us for another game of eye gap roulette. Just kidding, here's the next. Oh, and Toby's got wonky eyes. In this scene, actually. Anyway, back to the story.
He fumed. She's young yet, soothed his driver, and she can manage her cars herself, interrupted Toby. He was in the yard when he heard the news. I warned her, he fumed.
Oh, and the narrator said that Toby was in the yard. He was in the quarry, actually.
She's young yet, soothed his driver, and she can manage her cars herself, interrupted Toby. They're your cars, really, his driver replied. Mavis is supposed to stay at the quarry. If Sir Topham Hatt finds out... yes, said Toby thoughtfully. He and his driver agreed that it would be best to help Mavis after all. An angry farmer was telling Mavis just what she could do with her train. Having trouble, Mavis? Chortled Toby. I am surprised.
Oh, and the slow sign near Toby disappeared.
Gosh, said Mavis. With much puffing and wheel slip, Toby pushed Mavis and the freight cars back. The hard work made his fire burn fiercely, and his firemen spread hot cinders to melt the frozen mud. At last they finished. Goodbye, called Toby. You'll manage now, I expect. Mavis didn't answer. She took the cars to the sheds and scuttled home to the quarry as quickly as she could.
Ooh, to face some nightmares. Wouldn't you agree? Anyway, that's it for the story. Or is it? Hold on.
She took the cars to the sheds and scuttled home to the quarry as quickly as she could.
Okay, just checking for wonky eyes. No. But yeah, that really is it for the end of the story now. If I missed anything, leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like this video if you've enjoyed. And do not forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. And turn on all post notifications so you won't miss a single upload. Oh, that's part 1 of today's doubleheader. Part 2 coming up later. So stay tuned. and enjoy the ride. All aboard!